Hey, Richie here. Today we are going to go over how to throw a proper punch, the real power knockout punch. Boxing is very similar to building a house. We want to start with a strong foundation and then build up. That's why the key is our stance, our weight distribution, right? And generating that power from the ground. Once we get this down, all our punches will flow from there. So here are some drills that you could do at home to help your cross. All right, so we're going to get in our boxing stance. We're going to put our hands on our hip. We're going to shift our weight back. Right, getting the ball of our foot, so we're gonna raise our heel up, and we're just gonna dig heavy, right? Squaring our hips up, and back, and back. We wanna make sure that we're not leaning, that we're just turning, and we're standing tall. That's gonna help us generate our power from the ground up. So from the ball of our foot is where we generate our power, through our hips, and then we release our arm. So our power is not coming from up here, it's coming from here. So another drill we can do at home or at the gym is medicine ball throws. So we're gonna get in our boxing stance a little bit closer than we normally would if we were to throw a ball against the wall, right? Because this one's just to generate power from our hip, square it up and release the ball. So we're in our boxing stance, our weight is back, our heel is up. We're gonna hold it against our hip. So we're gonna dig down, square our hip up to our target and then release the ball, trying to generate as much power as possible. Standing tall, not leaning, and not throwing the ball like this. Just releasing once that hip squares up. So we're generating power here, here, just like if we were to throw a pound punch. When we generate this power, it's to be very heavy on your back toe. We want to dig it into the ground so we're really balanced here and we can lunge. So as we dig it in, we're nice and balanced. My right arm is going to be back, up against my body, glued, right? My right leg's back and it's pointing out, so I have leverage. I'm going to turn, make myself nice and thin, right? Chin down, weight is back. The cross initiates from my back foot. So I don't load up, I don't pull my arm out. I want no one to see this punch coming, so it starts here. I dig heavy into the ground to square my hips up to my target. My elbow is close to my body and it just releases as soon as I square my hips up to my target. Arm goes straight out, right? Chin is down, and I'm turning my hand over at the end of my punch, getting my torque. I'm looking to punch through my target. I don't want to pull my arm back. So I punch through my target, I'm nice and balanced. I can freeze at the end of my punch, right? And be balanced, and then I'm returning my foot, my heel back, recoiling my hip, which is essentially going to bring my arm back. So I don't want to pull my arm back, I want to bring my hip back, which is going to bring my arm back. And then I'm right back in my stance. Common mistakes when boxing that prevents us from throwing a proper cross is squaring up with our opponent too much. If we're here and we're heavy on our front foot, we're only set up to fail and lean forward. So instead of being here and leaning, we're gonna step back, make ourselves thin, so we get that torque to throw with power. So imagine we're squaring up with our opponent here, right? If we're square and we lean, we're off balance and we don't have power. So now we're going to step back, we're going to turn our hips, set our butt, our elbows can be close to our body. So now we have torque and more reach. So we're going to pivot, come all the way through, and we're going to punch, turning our hands down. And we sit on our punch and we're balanced. We are set up to throw our next punch, whether it's a hook, right? Whether we roll, come back to throw another cross, but we are balanced to throw something else. Another common mistake with throwing your cross is pulling the punch back at contact. We want to focus on making sure that we're punching through, and then bring our punch back with our hip. So we're recoiling, bring our heel back, recoiling our hip, and that's going to bring our arm back. Don't punch, pull, punch through, pull back. You want to land with these two knuckles. These two knuckles are going to hurt them, these two are going to hurt you. The key is to keeping your elbow in. So if I throw my punch with my arm straight and I turn my hand down, look where I land on the bag. So with my big knuckles, my thumb down. If I bring my elbow out, look what happens. I land with my pinky. Now I'm gonna hurt my hand. So the key is keeping your elbow in and turning that punch down at the end. As soon as my elbow comes out, I lose distance and I punch with the wrong side of my hand. Another drill we can do at home is finding a wall to keep our elbow in. We're pivoting to rotate forward. We put our foot up against the wall. We can either sit down, put our hip and our arm up against the wall. We initiate our punch with a pivot, we release our arm and we keep it along the wall right? And then we turn it over. This prevents our elbow from coming up and keeping our arm straight. Then we bring it back down. Then we could step forward, pivot, punch, back down. Hey, thank you guys for tuning in. Super excited to have you guys on my page. Hit the like, hit the subscribe below for some more fitness, boxing techniques, tips. I'll see you next week. Let's get it.